It is the loudest silence you will ever know. There are no raised voices, no broken plates, no visible bruises to show the world. On the outside, everything looks perfect. The fridge is full, the bills are paid, and you have clean clothes for school. But inside the walls of that home, something vital is missing. It's like living in a room where the oxygen is slowly being sucked out, but no one acknowledges that they're suffocating. This is the world of childhood emotional neglect, or CEN. It is not the presence of a blow, it is the absence of a hug. It's not the sound of a scream, it's the hollow echo of a question that was never asked. How are you, really? Most trauma is about what did happen, the abuse, the chaos, the fire. But this is about what didn't happen, the conversations that never occurred, the feelings that were never validated, the invisible wall between a child's heart and a parent's awareness. You learned very early that your emotions were white noise. If you were sad, you were told to go to your room. If you were excited, you were told to be quiet. If you were hurting, you were told you were too sensitive. And so you performed the ultimate act of survival. You became a ghost. You learned to need nothing, to want nothing, and to feel nothing. You grew up believing that having feelings was a burden to others. But here is the terrifying truth. A child's need for emotional connection is as biological as the need for food. When that need isn't met, the brain doesn't just get over it. It adapts. It builds a fortress. Today, we are tearing down that fortress. We are going to talk about the silent echo, the psychological blueprint of the adult who was physically cared for but emotionally abandoned. Because until you name this invisible wound, you will keep wondering why you feel so empty in a life that looks so full. Why does peace feel like boredom? Why does intimacy feel like a threat? Why do you apologize for taking up space? The answers aren't in what you remember, they are in the gaps of what you don't remember. As we dive into this, I want to ask you something, and be honest with yourself. When was the last time you felt truly seen without having to achieve something or fix something first? If you're finding your own story in these words, stay with me. This is where the healing begins. If this resonates, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps this message reach the people who are still suffering in silence, thinking they are the only ones who feel this nothingness. Let's look at the first symptom, the vague emptiness. Many adults who experience neglect don't feel depressed in the clinical sense. Instead, they feel nothing, a chronic sense of being an outsider in their own life. You look at people laughing or crying, and you feel like you're watching a movie in a language you don't speak. You have the void. This void isn't a lack of personality. It's the space where your childhood self was supposed to be mirrored back to you. When a parent doesn't look at a child with emotional curiosity, the child stops looking at themselves. They become a stranger to their own soul. You aren't empty because you were broken. You are empty because you were never filled. Let's explore how this silence rewires your entire nervous system. To understand why you feel this way, we have to look at the mirroring process. In a healthy home, when a child falls, the parent reflects that pain. Oh, that must have hurt. When the child is proud, the parent reflects that joy. This is how a child learns that their internal world is real. But in an emotionally neglected home, the mirror is blank. You cry, and the parent looks away. You succeed, and they talk about the weather. This creates a fatal flaw logic in the child's mind. Since the parent is good because they provide food and shelter, the problem must be me. My feelings must be wrong. My needs must be too much. This leads to a life of alexithia, the inability to identify or describe emotions. You feel a heavy weight in your chest, but you call it tiredness. You feel a burning rage, but you call it stress. You have lost the vocabulary of your own heart because no one ever taught you the words. And because you couldn't rely on your parents to regulate your emotions, you became hyper-analytical.
You don't feel your way through life, you think your way through it. You observe people's faces like a scientist, trying to figure out what they want from you so you can provide it before they realize you're empty inside. This is why many of you are so successful in your careers, but so lonely in your bedrooms. You are masters of the performance. You know how to be a good employee, a good partner, a good friend. But the moment the lights go out and the performance ends, the echo returns. Who am I when I'm not doing something for someone else? The answer usually terrifies you. Nothing. You feel like a hollow shell. This neglect also creates a deep-seated fear of dependency. To you, needing someone is the ultimate weakness. Why? Because the last time you needed someone, when you were small and vulnerable, no one came. So now you pride yourself on being the person who doesn't need anyone. You push people away when things get too deep. You sabotage relationships the moment they start to feel like home, because home was a place where your heart went to starve. You might find yourself attracted to distant, cold, or unavailable partners. Why? Because their emotional silence feels familiar. It feels like love to you, because it's the only love you've ever known. A love that requires nothing and gives nothing. If you're realizing right now that your independence is actually a trauma response, comment below with the word "seen." It's time to stop pretending that being strong is the same thing as being healed. The most tragic part of the silent echo is that you don't even think you have a right to complain. You say things like, "My parents did their best," or "I wasn't hit, so it's not trauma." But trauma isn't just about what is broken. It's about what never grew. You can't blame yourself for not knowing how to use a heart that was never activated. You are like a high-performance car with no fuel. You have all the potential in the world, but you are running on fumes. So how do we start the engine? How do we fill the void? It begins with the most uncomfortable task you will ever face: self-compassion. For someone who has been ignored, being kind to oneself feels like a lie. It feels cringe or weak, but that resistance is exactly where the gold is buried. You have to become the parent you never had. You have to start asking yourself the questions no one asked you. What am I feeling right now? What do I need? And most importantly, is it okay if I'm not okay? Let's talk about the final stage of this journey, the moment the echo finally stops and your own voice begins.
Healing from emotional neglect is not a loud event. It doesn't happen with a breakthrough or a sudden realization. It happens in the quiet moments when you choose to stay with yourself instead of running away. It's when you feel a wave of sadness and instead of distracting yourself with work or scrolling, you sit down and say, "I see you." You're allowed to be sad. This is called reparenting. It is the process of building a bridge across the gap that was left in your childhood. You are learning to mirror yourself. Think back to that 7-year-old version of you, the one who stood in the kitchen feeling invisible while the adults moved around you like you weren't there. That child is still waiting. They aren't waiting for your parents to change. They're waiting for you to notice them. They're waiting for you to say, "I'm sorry it was so quiet. I'm sorry you had to figure it all out on your own. But I'm here now, and I'm listening." When you start to listen to that inner voice, the silent echo begins to fade. The world starts to have color again. You realize that your feelings aren't a burden. They are your internal GPS. They tell you who to trust, what to love, and when to walk away. You stop being a human doing and finally start being a human being. You realize that you don't have to earn your place on this earth through productivity or perfection. You are worthy of love simply because you exist. But let's be real, this path is hard. There will be days when the void feels like it's winning. There will be days when you want to put the mask back on because being fine is easier than being real. Don't give up. The emptiness is just an invitation for you to fill it with your own truth. You've spent your whole life being a ghost in someone else's house. It's time to be the master of your own. If this video helped you understand a part of yourself that you've been ignoring for years, please share it.
There are millions of successful adults walking around right now feeling like hollow shells, and they need to know why. Don't forget to subscribe to Key for more deep dives into the shadows of our psychology. Comment below, what was the one thing you needed to hear as a child but never did? Let this comment section be the mirror we never had. Check out our other videos on trauma and healing to continue this journey. You weren't responsible for the silence of your past, but you are responsible for the music of your future. Take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the floor. You are here. You are real. And for the first time in your life, you are being heard. Thank you for watching. The echo ends here. Now go and be loud. Go and be felt. Go and be you. We'll see you in the next one. Stay mindful, stay real. Goodbye for now.